Welcome to the Barcast, the fittest and fastest half an hour that you're going to experience this week, and also the best half an hour you're going to get this week. It's me, Salt.
And I'm George.
Yes, gorgeous George in the house, and we are getting closer and closer to November. We're actually recording this on the last weekend of October.
Correct.
And just coming off of the first pop-up for this bar season. It was the individual pop-up at Simpson Motors. So what are your thoughts, George?
I enjoyed the pop-up. I think if you've never done a bar pop-up before, and you came along, remember, take it with a pinch of salt, whether you're successful or not.
Yeah,
because even
trust
though
me on that.
even though people run things individually, some of those things are going to be in the team.
Yeah.
And if you're doing the team, some of those things are only going to be in the individual. For example, the tire wall. The tire wall, we always put the tire wall whenever we can. Not really.
Right in front of spectators.
Exactly. That's right. We put it for the entertainment of the spectators. We know that 90% of people are going to feel the tire wall.
Yeah.
And we want to see you,
do some
have
burpees.
Something spectacular.
Oh, okay.
For the people in the audience to cheer and,
I went to
oohs and the ahs. That's why we put it there, right?
When they go out to the pop-up and they saw the tire wall set up right in front of the crowd, was it George is a dog. George setting me up for failure here right now, boy.
Right. So I would say some people had thought about it being hard.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing it as an individual who isn't necessarily looking to be in the competitive wave, then yes, it might be hard because you're going to see like the grip rig, for example, which when you're in a team, it's going to be 2 people per team. So if
it doesn't have to be a man or a man.
No, it could be any two. So if you're a
team,
female who was running with a team and you have 2 strong guys who have the grip strength, then they would do that and you would just cheer them on and move on to the next obstacle.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to know how the whole thing's going to be shaken out on November 21st and 22nd before you get discouraged. And besides, there's one thing like I like about the community in that persons just don't care if they fail.
Yeah.
Right? Like all the obstacles are new for everybody, and
exactly.
Some of us just fail them consistently. I was saying to somebody that was a little discouraged. I was saying that I do my training in blocks. And almost religiously every block, I see people fail for 3 weeks and get it on the last week just before the block changes.
Yeah.
So it's a repetition thing. You got to see it a few times. You got to like play with it a few times. Your brain and your body starts to figure it out. So if it came along to pop up on the Saturday last week and you didn't get things, don't worry. By November, if you get some time on the rigs, you'll be fine.
I think one of the things that I was telling to some of the people that we're really trying to build with regards to the tire wall and the same grip rig, which would be the 2 more challenging obstacles for me at the pop-up. I tell everybody that is in bar, consistency.
Correct.
First, you got to build the comfort, and then you build the consistency on the obstacles. So you got to get comfortable with the obstacle first. Like a lot of these obstacles can defeat you mentally at first. And that's where bar strength comes into me. The mental dexterity to say, I'm going to keep doing that. Big at Gina.
I was about to mention that because, I posted on the page, today would be Friday, October 30th. I posted on the Instagram page, Gina Lee Shepherd, who's a bar ambassador as well.
Yeah.
And people say, man, that grip rig thing, that only for men. You got to be real big and got a big long muscle in your upper body and this and the next and the third. And she isn't. She's relatively slight. She's a female. But, we had a training session the evening before. in the rain, I might add. And after the session, she spent over an hour just practicing the rig. Just over an hour, just like determined to get it, getting close to the end and failing. And like in the end, we had to pull she off. Like, let's try again home, man. Come off that week.
Yeah.
And then she went back first thing in the morning.
So that video was from this morning?
That video was from this morning. So she went back first thing in the morning, put up the grips, and got it first time.
Nice.
Went back through a second time to make sure it wasn't a fluke. Did it the third time and said, okay, I got this, and she could go home. So I think if you're out there, we have several opportunities over the next 3 weeks to try some of these skills. The skills are new for everybody.
Yeah.
The only people who would have seen some of these skills are those who've been doing the bar training programs.
Right.
But for everybody else, they're new. So if you have a team or you're a little unsure, say, look, you just give us a call. We can set up whatever obstacle you want on the rig, whether
tire
it's
wall?
Well, the tire wall will be out relatively soon.
Okay.
Once we finish the pop-up and the next pop-up, the team pop-up will be at Bushy Park.
Oh, great.
So we've managed to secure the venue. I think Bushy Park is a great venue for us. So once we finish the team pop-up at Bushy Park, we're going to start building the course.
Oh, okay.
We're going to start building the course. And that's why we love PEG as a venue, because with PEG as a venue, we can kind of just lay things out as long as they can move around and look after the animals, it's fine. Like when we were in Bath before, we kind of had
other people's land and all that.
Other people's land, roads, pathways, and everything. So it was a very quick build out.
Right.
And we've had some incidents in the past based on that quick build out that I really wasn't happy with as a race director.
Right.
And hence we introduced the pop-ups, which also gives us a chance to test all.
Well, that's what's going on with these pop-ups.
Yeah. I don't know what they are for you, but for me, they're a chance for me to test all the obstacles. We might, we make sure see how people feel, see what the failure rate is on them.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, if you have a course or an obstacle that has an 85% failure rate, it's too difficult. That's the launch, right? It's too difficult. If there's nobody failing, then it's probably too easy. Yeah. So you kind of have to try and find the right balance of challenging but still achievable.
What's the balance for you there? You have 40% failure rate?
No, I think something above 50 as a completion rate.
Right.
And it depends on the type of obstacle as well. There's some obstacles that are meant to challenge you more at different parts of the course.
Right.
So the way I build the courses, I don't like to see. I think one of the things that might have actually stunted the growth of obstacle course racing in the early days was people who were super fit going to events, and obstacle course racing was growing at a rate. So they'd go to an event and then there'd be a bunch of people standing up just to clear a 4-foot wall. Just because there's so much traffic bunched up.
Yeah.
So you finish.
And nobody wants to stop in half hour for half hour.
Exactly. So you finish an event and you don't really feel challenged because you're not supposed to just run the course. You are supposed to race the course, right? Yeah. And that's the other criticism that people have had with Spartan, that the obstacles are easy or they need more difficult obstacles. And while to some extent I agree, it's not necessarily that the obstacles need to be more difficult. But whatever is there, you just race them faster.
Right.
You race the course as opposed to just running through the course and being stuck on this obstacle because it was so hard and you were there for 20 minutes.
My problem with Spartans is that I don't want to run all that and then miss his spear.
Right. Well, I will raise my hand and say that I missed the spear.
I had to do burpees.
And I had to do burpees. Well, you see, for me, again, it was one of those things where I had never seen it.
Right.
If I lived in the States and I intended to do Spartan on a regular basis, I would have a spear in my backyard.
Right.
But I'd never seen the spear. I'd never felt it. I just saw people on TV with the spear. So I pick up the spear, and you know how men are.
Yeah, I can do this.
Not only I can do this, but I can pedal the spear hard as RH. So I let go of the spear, and the spear sail and gone over the straw, man. If that spear wasn't tired, right? That spear would have gone about 90 miles. I pedal the spear so hard. Meanwhile, that would be a new javelin record. Meanwhile, ladies come up to her and just taking the time and
tighten it.
Tighten it and stick it in. I hear one break off the string with the spear. But yeah, so it's like that. The more you see the challenges, right? And if you're just coming out to do the open wave, which is kind of the fun run version of this event, I said, don't worry about that too much because we're not going to be super strict on the open wave.
Right.
We're going to give everybody a chip so that you can run the course and you can still get a time.
Yeah.
But if you decide, man, I want to try that obstacle again, you're not actually affecting anybody but yourself. You're making your time slower. Yeah. So if you miss it and you look around and you say to the judges, I want to try that obstacle again, they'll let you. In the open wave. In the open wave. Yeah. So you can play a little bit longer. You can take your pictures. You can take your selfies. If you're from a company, organization, or whatever, you want to tag and post, absolutely do that. We welcome it. Understood. But go out there and have fun and don't take it too seriously. Now, I would still say that even in the open wave, nobody wants to do a zillion burpees.
At all.
Right? Nobody wants to be out there if there's 15 obstacles and you miss all 15 obstacles, then it just becomes a burpee race.
Yeah. Right? It's 225 burpees there.
You see my mom at Hartson College, you see?
I ain't sure what that math is.
Yeah, 15 squared. So, if you're doing the singles, there's a few basic skills that I think are relatively easy to master. Yeah. Just having some time on them. So jump in the clinics, get in some of the sessions, book some time on the rig, get through those out, and know where you're going to fail. I mean, they ain't make no sense killing yourself, with that tire wall.
Actually, that was my strategy on Saturday, know where you're going to fail. And from the time I saw the course, I said to myself, with the tire wall, and the great rig, exactly.
I can save some energy before that tire wall, I can kick my burpees and then move from there, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so... Yeah.
I want to talk a bit about the performances on a Saturday, though, because I think that we had some super performances, especially from Jet and Tompi.
Yes.
The winners of the two separate waves. I like the fact that they were in two separate waves as well, because that kind of builds and the anticipation for November the 21st. Because we ain't get to see them men go head to head yet.
Right. So we don't really know how it would have been if it was a race. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think obviously Jet is a favorite in this event.
Yeah.
Right. Jet works in an obstacle training gym. He's got the grip strength. He's just agile. He's got the cardio from playing football for all them years, etc. Yeah. And he's strong. His strength to weight ratio is incredibly high.
It's incredible, yeah.
When you look at Tompi looks like a beast.
He
looks like an athlete. Exactly. He looks like an athlete. You're going to see this man on the street and ask that man if he's trained. He's one of them men you can walk in. It's a Boston gym you just go to because he has that look. He looks like an athlete. He looks like the perfect combination between strength and cardio. He's not too big, but he's muscular. He's lean.
Yeah,
so he looks the part. And he's a competitor. He's always competed in different CrossFit games and different CrossFit challenges, etc. So, between him and Jet and a few other people, I think it's going to be a really good day. There were some surprises on the day as well.
Yeah. Who would you just say was a surprise to you?
Jason Green.
Jason Green looked good in the second heat.
Yeah. Jason was second in the second heat. Chad was second in the first heat behind Jet. I don't think that was any surprise.
That wasn't a surprise to me there because we know two of them are teammates, so they're looking good for the team competition as well. Absolutely. I've been watching Chad, his training and his running, how his running has really improved. So his cardio level is really up there now. He's strong and agile as well. Yeah,
and people talk about big guys don't have that cardio and so on. It's any energy system. If you train it enough, you're going to improve it. Right. So Chad is looking good. And then before we finish off the men, just jump to the women for a little bit.
Yeah.
Their other teammate, Danielle Gonzalez. She was first in the women. So, they're looking extremely strong for November. They should be thereabouts challenging obstaclers. Obviously, we know obstaclers tend to put a blanket around their training. Yeah, so we don't know where they're at necessarily right now. Yeah. But like I said last podcast, I don't think, this whole thing about not letting people know where you are. I think that matters more in kind of strategy type sports. Yeah. But if you can run faster than me, I don't really care. I don't care what you're doing. You know what I mean? You got to outrun me on the day. So yeah, Jason Green was a surprise for me because he's been doing the trainings with us, and I know Jason is a beast. He is a beast, and he's also got that mental, that zen approach. This is the thing. Now, I find that martial artists do well in bar. Yeah. Martial artists tend to do well in bar and events like bar because they've known how to control their minds over time. They've come to know that. And not only that, but if you've been a competitive martial artist, then you are being put in situations where you can't give up, because if you give up, somebody can break your hand, or somebody can choke you to sleep, or you get knocked out. So regardless of how tired you are, you have to try and find that extra gear and dig a little deeper to push through. And we've seen that with some of the martial artists who've done bar. Ennis as well. Ennis again, exactly. These guys come on the course and they have the same expression through the entire race. Like they never complain, they just push and they do whatever they can. They never stopping completely, and you will see them get all the way through. The only martial artist that maybe hasn't done the only martial artist who maybe hasn't done as well recently is my coach, my sensei, Corey Stokes, Corey Withers. Now the thing with Corey is that Corey's had a recent baby and everything, and he put on some baby weight. He put on a little baby weight. He hasn't lost the baby weight yet, right? So, but he came out and he wanted to get back in shape for bar. And like most athletes who've been competitive, Corey thought that, man, I can just do this thing and just push through. But he jumped into the wrong session. Yeah. And he kind of got lost a little bit on the training session. A little bit. He ended up where he ended up. Yeah, no, Super Bowl. Super Bowl surfing. Let me the listeners right now. Corey, we're not laughing at you, I promise. Definitely not. It's only like, we get back on everybody. My Corey can be good, Corey can be good. Yeah. But also it started to get dark, listeners. It was darker than that. It was pitch black. Men had the beer, men chill out, men stretch, people change. Man had showers. Boy stuck out for Corey. Somebody might sleep. Before Corey is. It was like, wait, that's he carried it, or he can't see, he ain't get by yet. So eventually we all had to go and start to put into cars to go and look for this man, because we had a convoy search party. Corey went all the way down to Bathsheba. Yeah, boy. So that what happened though. But
So he's probably the only martial artist that hasn't.
And even then, he still pushed through. He
came back.
He came back. He went down. Obviously, he got left a little bit behind.
Yeah.
But he never stopped. He just went where he thought the course was. He turned around. He pushed all the way back. He didn't accept a raid or anything. He worked all the way back, and that is the kind of spirit.
He has been to subsequent sessions as well. He take the barbarian pressure, and he come back and say, "You know what? I ain't getting dropped this week."
Correct.
Still get dropped, but not by as much, and that's improvement.
Absolutely.
Speaking of improvement, and I'm sorry to keep calling names, but I want to give everybody their kudos, so they will hear when they're listening how we really feel about them. Asakori has been really coming on. Ever since he started on the program as well. I saw him yesterday in the advanced rig session, and he's looking good. He went through some suffering with the beginners group earlier.
Oh, very much so, yeah. That's Korea. And I actually posted some times yesterday, and unfortunately I dropped his time by mistake for the workouts. If you're on the Instagram page, you would have seen that we tend to post the times for the workouts. And I dropped Asakori's time by mistake. And he's definitely coming on. He's again, this is a former athlete.
Yeah, he's done it before.
And he's got the athlete's mentality. So when you've competed at a high level, you know how to push through that wall, So a lot of time it's just about grit and determination. And that's kind of the whole spirit of bar and obstacle course racing in general, knowing what your boundaries are and just pushing that much further.
I am really looking forward. I'm not going to do it this week, but eventually before the bar race, we're going to ask you for your top 3 predictions. Individuals. We're going to wait to see how everybody is looking as we really ramp into shape. But I was thinking to myself once again, because we talked about tempering the training that day. We spoke about her already, Gina Lee.
Right.
I am really a fan of her training right now. And this is the truth. It's because she's improving every week. Right. Her carries are really good. Right. Her running has definitely improved. And she's so focused on the obstacles. Right. I think that she, for me, is a threat right now for at least a top 5. Right. Probably a podium. Right. And this is because, for me, I find that her improvement is coming in a way that when she gets to November the 21st, she is still going to be improving. I don't expect a plateau or a fall off from Gina Lee, given the way how I've seen her training. So she's improving and building upon an already good foundation to me. She's going to be an asset to her team.
Absolutely, and I think she's doing the individual and the team.
Good.
And I think, like you said, I think she's going to definitely be in that top 5, and it's about obstacle proficiency. Yeah. Right. She like you see the video on Instagram. She spends like she's never defeated. Right. So where some people come, I see other athletes come and they miss obstacles, and they get frustrated. Man, I can't get this due, and they see it for the first time, and the negative self-talk starts to dig in. And what I've seen with Gina Lee over the time, I've seen her turning. Her Instagram name is Fitness Princess.
Yeah, but she's not a princess.
I've seen her change from a princess to, man, dog, just do the thing. Like that's how it is now, right? So she's developed that toughness as well, which she's really kind of she's encapsulated that toughness now as far as a bar athlete is concerned. Yeah. She feels, right, I can do it again. Man, this thing ain't gonna beat me. I can keep going till I get it, and so on and so forth. And so when you start to develop the obstacle proficiency, it really makes up for any lack of running skill or running speed that you might have. Yeah. Because her team, the other 3 persons on her team are elite runners. Right. The other 3 persons on her team running with elite athletes when it comes to running. No, she's running with Amanda Maximilian. Oh, right. Exactly. When you say Amanda, you might as well start, right? Yeah. Big shout out to Amanda. Nick Gill.
Top runner.
And Ron Small.
Okay, yeah.
Again, like that whole army mentality. So, I don't think there's any secret to say that she will be the slowest flat runner on that team. Yeah. But what she will add to that group, she'll add the carries, she'll add the skills.
I've seen Gina really buckets. Her strength to weight ratio is very high as well.
Yeah, so a big shout out to her. So congratulations to Gina on improving, and we'd like to see you improve towards November.
And the last person I'm going to mention before we get to wrapping up the meals in the pop-up is Damian. And he ties back in for me with the same mindset you're talking about. Right. I realized that with the bar tribe especially, and people that when you really start to do bar, when you fail an obstacle, it don't make sense taking that 5 seconds to grumble about missing the obstacle.
Right.
Get down there and do the burpees.
Nobody don't care if you fail the obstacle. Nobody else don't care. Man, this thing too high, this thing. But man, go for around me. Because we're going through the same thing too, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, it's just like you have to change your mindset about it. It's not like any other sport from that respect.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like running on the road where you're just going to run straight and everything's going to be smooth and clean. And it's not even like other sports. I don't really want to use any comparisons, but you might have a very well-balanced weight on a precision bar and you're just doing reps and you've been honing your technique on cleans or whatever for the longest time. But when you come to obstacle course racing, today, it might, like last night, I saw people who normally get up and down the rope several times really easily struggle just because the rope was wet.
It's wet, yeah.
The conditions can change. So if you get inside your head and complain about, you're gonna get out of it physically and mentally, because the self-talk, the negative self-talk is gonna slow you down.
Exactly.
And people are just gonna run past you.
And you would see it in other sports though, the winners, they adapt. If you're watching golf,
right,
and a man hit a shot and it don't go the exact place, he don't treat head down the ground and be like, oh shoot, man. No, you adapt. No, you know you got 5 holes, 5 shots to get this ball in the hole. You got 4 more. You got to work out how you're gonna get it in those 4 shots. No, as you wrap up Saturday's past proceedings, the pop-up workout, because you really want to let people know that you got another workout coming in as well. Right. But I think the Red Bar people are gonna be enjoying this conversation. What was your favorite obstacle to watch on a Saturday day?
You know, it was not what you would normally expect. I think people come and they see the slick wall, right, and they see people falling. And we want a big shout out to Shakira.
She did a really good job, didn't she?
Making sure that wall was slick the whole way. I think we're gonna put her on that obstacle in November if she's not competing, because she made sure it was slippery the whole time.
Did a really good job, Shakira.
Yeah. So the slick wall and the Rolling Thunder are the 2 most obviously visually impactful obstacles.
Yeah.
But watching people figure out the traverse bars, having seen it for the first time, that was interesting to me, because, you know, we coach obstacles in particular ways, which is kind of this is how I would approach it, and this is how I think you should approach it. Agreed, yeah. But when people come to it for the first time and they just have to figure it out, that was what was interesting to me, watching people jump on this obstacle for the first time and how you do that, and they watch other people and they make adjustments.
They're in the curve, different techniques as well.
Yeah, and so that to me was really, really interesting. So that to me is an obstacle that's not super difficult.
Yeah, I do burpees by that too.
Yeah, but you know, once you kind of, I've seen, like, I remember the first time we had that obstacle in a workout at PEG. And we spoke about Jet before. Jet had never seen how the rest of us did that obstacle. So he didn't have that in his head. Yeah. And he just jumped on it and did it his way. And it was completely different to the rest of us.
And different to anything we've ever seen.
And much faster.
Yeah.
You know, so again.
Since then, he's gone back to a traditional approach. I don't know why.
I think maybe when fatigue sets in or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, so again, if you feel something, don't worry about it. Just come, try enough things, and find the one that works for you.
I actually saw, speaking of people adapting, today when you said that the grip rig, Nick Gill was on the grip rig. He hold on to the ball. And when he hold on to the ball, he was facing the wrong direction completely. Right. And he put a whole spin, a whole 180-degree turn on the ball to grab onto the nunchuck. And I was like, well, that's a way to do it. Never thought of it like that. And that is exactly what we're talking about with bar. Is adaptability. It's not necessarily one size fits. Or you don't have to do everything traditional. Right. And actually, when you do things non-traditionally, sometimes you might be a little faster than others.
Absolutely. And again, I think, like, I see people come and try the workouts, and I see, you know, a little bit of discouragement from persons.
Don't be discouraged.
Who might have been really good in another sport or another activity. And I think they forget that when they started that first activity, they weren't. Yeah. Because maybe they started at 5 years old. But think back to when CrossFit started to become popular. And think back to your first WOD, when you had to go in there and do cleans, or you had to go and do snatches or muscle ups or whatever. You had no real coaching on them, maybe a little clinic for a week or 2 before. Everybody looked ugly. The bars was flying all over the place. People were even getting hurt a little bit just because they didn't have that technical proficiency. And now people go into those types of workouts and they're killing them, right? So it's the same thing with obstacle course racing. This is, to me, as a sport, it is just so interesting. There's just so many dimensions to it. It's not, you know, you come and you're doing the same sanitized drills every day. Right. It's always messy. That makes it changes from the wind is a little harder today and it changes. The sun is a little hotter today and it changes. So you're always going to be doing something new.
Yeah.
So I think it's something that people should really make the effort to get better at so that they can continue to improve.
November the 7th, you're having the team pop-up.
Correct.
Right? All teams welcome, open wave and competitive wave?
Absolutely. So November the 7th is going to look very different to Simpson Motors.
Yeah.
So what we're going to be doing with this pop-up is we're really putting in the elements that kind of need that teamwork. So the higher walls, the 10-foot walls, for example, we'll be putting in the log carry, the long log.
The longer it's
right. We'll put in a couple kind of relay type drills and so on and so forth, just to get people that opportunity to start to figure out their strategy for November.
Partner carries as well?
I don't know if I have to finalize the course, but it will probably be partner carries as well. Yeah. On that day at Bushy Park, there's also some go-karting, so we don't have the whole track.
Right.
So I'm kind of adjusting the course from last year. But it'll give you an opportunity to build your communication with the rest of your team. You'll start to figure out things in real time that you thought might have worked but may not on the day. So you have 2 weeks to make the adjustments. So I would say if you're going to be doing bar, whether it's open wave, corporate, or the competitive wave, to definitely come down and try that pop-up at Bushy Park.
What we're going to do now, we're actually going to give Faith a call because Faith is going to be doing, I believe, the open wave.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, so we want to give her a chat and find out how she is preparing for the open wave. Hi, Faith.
Hi.
Hi, this is Salt.
Hi, Salt.
And George here as well. Faith, how you doing?
Hi, George. I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Well, life is good. We're here talking about the bar, of course. We know that you've been doing bar from the very start.
Yeah, you have been. You were on the first bar team.
Yeah, it's true.
And then you were supposed to be on the other bar team, and then you have rehearsal. Still not really speaking about that.
Oh, man.
But you're getting ready for November this year, though, aren't you?
Definitely. You know what? I love everything about bar, so I will be there for sure.
You're doing the open wave, George told me?
The fun one?
Yeah,
whatever is the fun one.
yes, the open wave. Why did you decide to go for the fun wave this time?
I haven't been training as hard as I did the last time. And the first 2 times I did it, we qualified for the second day. And unfortunately, we never got to the second day because, some members of the team had, other commitments, work and stuff like that.
Some members of the team was too
this year, or that. But this year, I just decided, we're going to take out the competitiveness a bit because I am very competitive. I like to at least be close to the top if I win, But I just decided to, have a little fun this year with it and, not put so much pressure on myself.
How did you, how do you feel you can manage with tempering that competitive spirit, though?
I don't know.
I mean,
but the fact that it is not the competitive one, like the one where, prizes given away and stuff like that, my mind will be a little more settled.
But you still want to be competitive. Is what you're coming through.
Still want to be
my mind will be a little more settled knowing that. My mind will be a little more settled knowing that this is just a fun phase. We just do it for fun.
It's in Banks calendar, girl.
Yeah.
What's the rest of your team look like, Faith? Can you talk about that a little bit, or you're still working on it?
Kind of still working on it. We just have to secure the yeses, but I've spoken to a couple people who are interested. Last year, my partner did it with me, and he had a lot of fun, so I invited him back to do it this year.
Breaking news, guys. Breaking news.
Faith Callendar is off the market. Oh, you just broke lots of heart, Faith.
All right, everybody.
Sorry, guys. Okay,
yeah, okay, so he has to do it. Ain't no 2 ways about it. When the lady puts down her foot, he's going to have to do it. And who the other, who the other lady is, or who you looking at?
This another couple, friends of ours.
Okay.
So maybe that's where the competitiveness will come in. Never know.
You got to make sure everybody's speaking at the end.
Exactly. I was going to say, there might be a few domestics at the end of this. I hope y'all are still 2 couples at the end. Might be 2 different couples.
So will you be doing?
It's gonna be good fun.
We want you all to at least establish a team by November the 7th so that y'all could come out and probably practice at the pop-up workout at Bushy Park. Yeah. And get that chemistry. Right? I mean, like, hopefully you and your partner don't gotta work too much on chemistry, and the other couple doesn't work too much on chemistry, but together as a foursome.
Yes.
So
definitely, I will.
Sorry, Faith, go ahead.
I will look to confirm that. Yeah, I will look to confirm the team as soon as possible, so we could definitely take part in some team activities.
Right. So, as someone who's been involved in BAR from the very beginning, and who would have done some of the competitive waves, and now looking to do the open wave, what tips or bits of advice would you have for someone who's thinking about doing it but still on the fence a little bit?
I would say take the risk. I know a lot of people see it as, there's all these enough things to do. And it is really a lot of fun, but it's also going to test you and push you past maybe some limits that you have mentally. But I will definitely say to use it as, just something to test yourself. And you will definitely see, at the end how much fun it was. You're going to be talking about it for days. You're probably going to be a little sore, but that comes with exercise, that comes with any type of physical activity. But the environment, I love the energy, the racers, even the people who just watching on, is really a lot of fun and something new to Barbados as well. So take the opportunity to just be a part of something that is so amazing.
Yeah, thanks, Faith. Thanks for joining us. We didn't want the podcast to just be too ugly, man. Again. So even though you're not here to grace us with your beauty, yes, thank you so much.
All right, thanks a lot, Faith.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so the open wave, George. How has the interest been so far?
The interest has been good. I honestly feel that, again, we tend to refer to Spartan a lot because Spartan is the brand leader in this segment. But you'll see 20 elites, male and female, and then you'll see some age groupers because they have prizes for age groups. And you can race age group without racing elite. Right? So then you have, again, maybe 10 or 20 age groupers in each age group.
Yeah.
So call that 200 people. And then there's 5,000 people who are doing the open wave.
Right.
And 5,000 people who, obviously we don't have those numbers in Barbados yet, but I think that's where the growth of the sport is going to be. Because they don't have to spend 6 months preparing. I can hear about BAR 2 days before. And they say that I'm going to go. Exactly, I can go out there and I can compete on so many different levels. I use the word compete very loosely. Yeah. I can decide, well, you know what? I want to go out and I want to just run this thing to see where I am, and then I can train for it next year. So I do open wave.
I think that's going to happen a lot, actually.
Yeah, I do open wave and I run the whole thing, but there's no real pressure. But I run it relatively hard to see where I am. Yeah. And then there's I just want one of them T-shirts. I want one of them T-shirts, so I go in and I can walk around this course.
Take some
pictures and get the T-shirt at the end. And then there's going to be everything in between. People who I've seen. And I hope that I know that the culture in Barbados is very similar already. But I've gone to these events and I've seen guys in wheelchair, like veterans in wheelchairs, do an event like this with their platoon. The guys are going under dunk walls in the wheelchair. Guys are going up ropes in the wheelchair. Guys are putting their partners, they're over 10-foot walls in wheelchairs.
So
you really
inclusive.
Exactly, and that's where you see. I think that's where you see the camaraderie really develop because. Everybody is competing against the course. So once it's not the elite level where we're looking for money and trophies and so on, if I up on a wall and I see you jump at it, I can help you over. Right. And so we're really expecting that over time, the open wave is really where the growth of this event is going to come because it is just such a fun event.
It's fun. It's an adult playground, guys.
Absolutely, yes.
It is an adult playground. I can't start reminding y'all guys, November the 7th, we're going to be at Bushy Park for the team pop-up. So get your team ready, get your team entered, and make sure and go to Barbados Adventure Race and sign up. Actually, use promo code SALT, yes, SALT. Yeah, and sign up for the team event, and also bring your team out on November the 7th. Let us all see what George has in store for us.
Correct.
I'm really encouraging the open waivers, though, because I think that what we did see a lot on Saturday was some people feeling a little dejected, and we don't want that. It's not. I mean,
this is the redemption pop-up.
Yeah, it's the redemption pop-up, and it's also the pop-up that will help you know that you're not supposed to be intimidated. All right, trust me on this one. Let me tell y'all. Right, I am a person that does bar all the time. Damian does bar all the time. Chad Forbes does bar, but Phil Seven does bar. We all fail obstacles as well.
Correct.
Understand?
All of them had burpees. I would even say, I mean, again, you know, champion, 2019 male champion, Darren Matthews, failed the tire wall last year and still won the event.
Exactly.
You know, so like, don't
be down on yourself for failing that tire wall, guys.
Exactly. It's like life, right? In life, you're gonna have some obstacles. Some of them are gonna knock you down. It's how you respond to that. If you're like, all right, done with this, and you walk away, then you know, obviously you're not gonna be a success. But if you pick yourself back off, brush off, and go on to the next one, and just conquer that one, you know, you will be more successful for sure. You
know, it's interesting to me because I'm so accustomed to training with you know, and as I always tell y'all, trying to build the mental calluses and expecting the worst. Right. When I failed the tire wall the first time, I do my 15 burpees. And I finished it, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this again now? Literally, I forgot that after you finish the burpees, you get to continue on. I thought it was like 15 burpees to finish the obstacle, then go back and do it again. It's not. So you just go, you practice your burpees as well. Correct. Make burpees a part of your routine. You don't want to do them on the day, but once you could get proficient at the burpees as well, which is what Darren obviously did, then you could get through them and hopefully not have to do too many of them on the day, and there won't be that much of a hindrance to you either.
Yeah, and again, if you're new to bar and that was your first pop-up, there were a couple of things we needed to test. So nobody had ever seen a traverse bar before, so we had to put that in to test. It's new to everybody. There could be lots of failures. Nobody ever seen the grip rig before. It was new to everybody, so there's going to be lots of failures, et cetera, et cetera. But on the day, there's going to be lots of things that we already know that people are really successful on.
You didn't have any rings there. You didn't have any monkey bars there. There was no rope there.
Exactly. And we know people are generally successful on those things. They know they're coming. They've seen them before, you know, so they're already prepared for them. But even like 4-foot walls, you don't got to bring a 4-foot wall to pop up. You don't really got to bring a 6-foot wall to pop up. We brought it because it was the first time, and we wanted people to actually see it. You know, and so on and so forth. So there's lots of A-frame and cargo nets and so on. Those are things that you're gonna have so much fun on those. And then you might get, you know, a little set of burpees here or there, but that's not gonna detract from the amount of fun you're gonna have in this event overall, for sure.
Real talk. There was one more thing that I really wanted to mention here before we go. I'm gonna let you talk and I can remember. Maybe I just had a birthday last week.
Too much drinking on that birthday.
Honestly, I can't remember right now.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit was keeping that streak alive, that finisher T-shirt streak alive.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you was doing bar from the start, all you gotta do is go and have some fun and make sure, look, I get the rash guard in June. I get the rash guard. Well, I might not be able to get the rash guard in November, but I'm making sure I get my finisher T-shirt for 2020 and start to build a collection of them, you know. I mean, again, that's how the tribe identifies one another. Every day I drive around Barbados and run around the streets and things, I see people in that bar T-shirt. And it's become like a badge of honor because we know that we're doing something different. We're part of something that's new and innovative to the island. Mm-hmm. And people are really enjoying being part of this community because it is so inclusive. Yeah. It is so much fun. And it's just a good bunch of people. So don't let 2020 pass and you don't collect one and finish your T-shirts, boy. Come and do your thing. Open Wave gets finisher T-shirts as well, just so you know. Right. They won't get the race T-shirt, obviously, but they'll get the finisher T-shirt as well. So come, be a part of the event and get your badge of honor for sure.
Don't forget to go on Facebook as well. If you haven't completed your team as yet, go on the Facebook Bar Team Finder, for Barbados Adventure Race Team Finder, and finish up your team. Let's type in, hey guys, looking for 3 other people. Hey guys, looking for 1 female, looking for 1 male. I get your team complete, get together and work. It's a team event. We're talking about the open wave and everything. It's a team event. You want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. I always say that I believe that chemistry is going to get that WhatsApp group started.
Correct.
And push.
And I feel, having observed this event over the last few years, I've seen teams that had good to great chemistry do much better than teams that had really elite athletes, but they just didn't click.
Yeah, everybody wasn't looking for the same thing.
Correct. I know there was one incident very early in bar when there was just one guy that he was just one of the best athletes in the field.
Right.
And he was put together with a team, and his he is just so competitive and so focused on winning in everything else that he did that he forgot there were 3 other people on the team.
He ran on after?
Yeah, so he's running along, leaving them, and he was even a little upset that they were able to keep up. As well. So from a coaching perspective, from a supportive perspective, they checked out because they felt like they were being criticized and so on and so forth. And then from the other perspective, he was running ahead and then getting to the point, and it's like, all right, you sit down here with a few teammates now because you can't start the obstacle without all your teammates there. So, again, try to find that chemistry, find that camaraderie. And the best way to do that is by coming out to the pop-ups or doing some trainings together so you start to know each other a little bit, you know what to expect from each other on the day so you can have a much more fun experience.
Last point, I remember now, booking the grip rig or any of the other obstacles that you want to test as a team or as an individual, how do we contact you? And how do we get that set up? And where is it going to be set up?
Right, so we have 2 options for that.
Yeah.
One option is at PEG.
Yeah.
Where we have the truss already set up.
Okay.
And the other option is at Surfside. So you just DM us through the Instagram page or WhatsApp us. My number is the one that's associated with the account. It's a business account, so don't send me any pictures, people. Keep it clean. So just send us, George, we want to book the rig. We want to book the rig between 7 and 8 on Monday morning.
Yeah. It's 1 hour blocks.
It's 1 hour blocks.
Yeah.
Sure, which obstacle do you want? Okay, we want the rings and the monkey bars or whatever. So we'll come and we'll put this up for you. You pay the drop-in fee, and you and your team can play for an hour. If you want coaches there with you, just let us know. We can arrange a coach for you as well for a small additional fee.
Oh, nice. Okay, so that's all I really wanted to know because I know a lot of teams are going to want to get on the grips.
Yes.
For sure. A lot of people are interested in practicing the rings as well. They think that the technique for the rings is a little different to the monkey bars. So even people that, I just want to feel it. I want to feel it.
Right.
Even though if they think they can get through it. And I think that's important as well. As we said, building a comfort through consistency. No complacency though.
No, right, yeah. So I want to give props to you actually for doing something that would seem really obvious, but that not many people seem to have discovered.
Are you telling my secrets now?
Well, no, I mean, it's a secret. It's a secret. So it's a secret. I want to let people out there know that there's this new thing called the internet.
Yes.
Right? So just
and on it, there's this website called YouTube.
Right? So just breaking news. So go on YouTube and Google the obstacle that you find and search the obstacle that you find most challenging. So for example, the rings.
Yeah.
I like to swing through the rings because I find that really easy for me.
Right.
But there are a lot of OCR coaches out there that will tell you, don't be swinging about the place like Tarzan.
Yeah.
They actually coach the opposite of swinging through the rings. They're like, secure both hands and move hand to hand.
Right.
You have a more secure grip that way. So find the thing. There's more than one method in every case.
Yep.
So if you're not sure about something, before you come, you book your session, you block it for an hour, and then you go on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you search 3 or 4 different methods, and you come and you try them. We got Wi-Fi at Surfside, we got Wi-Fi at PEG. Yeah. So, you can pull out your video and you can review it, and you can just play for an hour or so to get the thing that is comfortable for you.
Totally agreed on that front. I feel like a lot of people should be taking advantage of that. And my secret, once you put in OCR, lots of things come up. Lots of things, and almost all of the obstacles that we have here are featured on the internet, are featured on OCR events overseas. So it might not call it Tire Wall. It may Rolling Thunder might be the right name, but once you get involved and start searching for OCR things, you're going to start to see all of the different obstacles and the techniques on how to get through them. Coming up. So you might want to do that.
Yeah. So just DM us. We'll set it up for you. If I'm around, I'll give you some coaching as well, some tips, because we want you to have more fun on the day, and there's that kind of feeling of accomplishment, getting through an obstacle that was really challenging. It really is a nice feeling. Like people are failing, you practice it, you get through it, and you don't mind a couple sets of burpees, but you don't want to be doing burpees all day for sure.
Yeah. All right, guys, but I think we're going to call this a wrap because we've been on for a little while, but I think you got lots of great information. Join us again on the next Barcast. Don't forget, November the 7th, team pop-up. Get your team sorted.
Correct.
Go register on BarbadosAdventureRace.com. If you don't have a team, go on the Facebook, look for Barbados Adventure Race Team Finder. And don't forget, it's the open wave as well, so you don't have to be too intimidated by them big guys like Obstacle Killers and Chad and Jet and Danny and all them.
You might still beat them, though.
Or you might still beat them.
Yeah.
I would have actually done that there, actually gone and do the open wave and then check my time against the others.
I can't for them next year.
All right, guys, that's it for the Barcast. Thanks.
Just one thing before we go. I just want to say thanks again to Faith Callendar for calling in and giving us her experience. A big shout out to Faith. And yes, listen out next week for more from the Barcast.